Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vero, Ceci, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
Hola, hola, buenos días. Welcome to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode 188, the Self-Care Galentine's Valentine's Day edition. And vamos a hablar un poquito de todo, de amistades, old friends, new friends, and the benefit of having friends. And yeah, and then maybe talk a little bit about our busy weekends and then if we did anything for self-care. I think let's start there. Pero, ¿cómo andan mis chulas co-hosts?
It's a Monday. It feels like a Monday.
Oh my God, totally.
Trying to get our mic to work. Oh my God. Putting our makeup on in the middle of the show. So if you hear the clickety-clackety, I picked a color that doesn't even match my skin, but who cares? Let's keep going.
You put bronzer over it, girl, till you make it match. Don't trip,
I know, I had that too.
Mm-hmm.
I was quickly grabbing whatever from my makeup bag to do this sentadita aquí, and I was like, what did I grab? Anyway, go for it, Vero. ¿Cómo estás?
Yo bien cansada. A la chinita, man. I'm just so, like, you could tell I'm tired when my voice is, like, a little deeper than usual. No sé por qué. It's just, like, a way of reminding me, like, ándale, cabrona. No dormiste bien. No descansaste. Like, me duele todo. I have this, well, me duele por mi culpa. Let me be honest. I went to get my pedicure, manicure el sábado because we were going to have a Galentine's Day. I was like, I ain't going with no busted ass toenails and my nails looking crappy. Like, ya te pasaste. Si eres mamá, no tienes que ser mamá así sin vergüenza, you know? So anyway, I was like, damn, I haven't had a mani-pedi since November. I'm over here competing with a hawk, you know, with the toenails and shit, talent out and everything. So I was like, I need to go. Y le hacen, oh, they knew I looked beat up. They knew I looked tired. I was exhausted. So the chinitas just came over. What is Vietnamese? Vinieron and they were like, oh, shoulder massage? I was like, yes.
Me lo notaron.
Me lo notaron. Shoulder massage? Yes. Extra 5 minutes foot rub? Yes. Do you want me to rub your hands? Yes. Todo se me acumuló, like, adding $5 to $10 to the cuenta every time. But she went hard on my neck and my shoulders, you guys. Y ahorita ando super sore. Super. Que me duele. So anoche no estaba durmiendo también por eso. I'm like, ay, ¿por qué me duele? Pero like, she just went ham on my neck. But I'm feeling, I guess I should feel good. But I'm tired, yo. Mm-hmm.
I'm there with you. I am so tired. Se siente como lunes. And I'm like, oh my God, it was such a busy weekend. So much to do. So many activities with the kids. The kids had a birthday party yesterday, followed by basketball. And ahorita, porque, you know, tenemos el nuevo puppy, Luis is like on it, training. I'm just like doing it all, basically. But I'm tired this morning. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm sleepy. Aparte, like, I had lost my voice. And at nighttime, like right when I go to bed, me agarra una tosera, like coughing like nonstop. And for the past 2 nights, I've taken NyQuil to see if like that kind of stops the coughing. And it kind of does, not completely, but then it like knocks me out. So I don't know if I still have like the lingering effects of like the NyQuil right now. So that's why I feel tired. But with that said, I know you guys had an awesome time. I was feeling a little FOMO on Saturday. You guys had an awesome time with the Guilt-Free Squad ladies. Que se la pasaron super. Celia was an amazing host.
Oh,
and she went all out. Like that room looked.
There was an ambiance, girl. It was like a romantic Guilt-Free Squad crew meetup. Let's just sit and chat and eat, and it was nice.
Shout out to Joanna. Joanna siempre bien, like, man, in servicio to other people. I don't even know if that makes sense. In service to others. The way Joanna was for the breakthrough brunch, she was the same way with Celia. And like she brought like place settings, and I think she maybe did the flowers. Sorry, Celia, if I'm messing that all up. But she was so helpful, and so she's like the hostess with the mostest, helping other people be the hostess with the mostest. Like Celia's husband got up at 5 a.m. to freaking smoke esta carne. The food was incredible.
Rica, la comida. So Irene sent a picture of Diego devouring the ribs at night in the morning. My ribs didn't make it to the morning, okay? I walked through the door and I was like, ¿qué traes allí? And I was like, try these ribs. They're bomb. And they were like mango habanero sauce.
Wow.
Ceci, everything. The pulled pork was just amazing.
El pollo,
Todo el
pollo
pollito.
riquísimo.
Hizo un heart-shaped pasta, like a poblano. It was like poblano chile pasta.
Wow.
Like mac and cheese, poblano mac and cheese. It was, everything was just delicious. Nothing, like the mac and cheese was like perfect, not over, like the flavor was perfect. It was just amazing. And we had such a good time. We went a platica and it was just nice to also meet some women in person, like we do a lot of, on the chat y todo. But it was really nice. And then seeing them together, like this is amazing. What the Guilt-Free Squad and the community that we've taken the time to build. And now these women are like the ones running it, like they make it happen. It's amazing.
I love that because we had this vision, right, for the Guilt-Free Squad at the beginning when it started. When was it? Like 2 years ago, right? We had it where we started it, I think, as a result. Not I think. I know we started as a result, like the pandemic. Like we weren't being social. We needed that like support, leaning on each other, hearing from each other. And we started these virtual chats monthly, and it became this group coaching, and we've had guests. But the impact and the connections that the women have made through, again, the monthly sessions, but even during our WhatsApp group chat, like we lean on each other. And when we're going through something or we want just like that extra push or just some words of insight, like we all turn to that. I think it's amazing. I think that the way you were saying, like now they lean on each other and like they support each other. And this has all happened virtually. And Saturday was the first time, right? Que a lot of us, or you guys, I wasn't there, but a lot of the women met each other for the first time. And I'm sure it felt como que, we've been, homies forever. Like that's how I feel. And I haven't met like a lot of them. I still haven't even met Joanna in person. So wait, have I? I don't remember.
Oh, really? No,
I don't think you
haven't,
have.
because I was going to meet her in LA and I haven't.
Oh, yeah. No, you have not, Ceci.
Yeah.
Wait, have we, Vero? Was it the first time meeting Joanna? Why do I feel like we've known Joanna forever?
Because
I don't know
it
if we've
just
ever
feels
met her
that
in
way,
person either.
It just
Why
really
does
feels
it
that
feel
way.
like we hadn't met her,
we all
Irene,
three
for some reason?
Girl.
We
It
were
was
going to
like
meet her.
seeing our homegirl, but
Yeah.
we had never seen her.
And
that's why she gave this beautiful speech about how she manifested in 2022 being closer to these women on the podcast and being our friends. And here we are in 2023, like having.
How amazing would it be if I would just meet these women? She's like, it's going to happen. She's like, these women on this podcast. And look, 3 years later, here we are having a beautiful dinner.
I have a question for you guys, and that I just thought, what expectation did you have going into this Galentine Day, like meeting these people, or a lot of these people for the first time, these women? What did you guys have any expectations, and then did that expectation change after having the dinner?
That's a good question. I think for me, I kind of felt like, oh, this will be fun. It'll be casual. It'll be easy. Nos conocemos, But then once I got there, it felt even like nicer and deeper, like really intentional. Like everyone's around the table. She kicked her family out. Like it's not casual. It wasn't like you're at a Super Bowl party and maybe you talk to one person, maybe you talk to another person and you're talking about like the weather. This felt very much like a intentional event where you're going there to like, we're all here to get closer. Nos conocemos, sure. But right, Vero, like almost like, I even was like, let's do an icebreaker. We all like asked a question. We all answered the same question about like what our natural gifts are. But the conversation was super organic and super flowing. But it was because it was like we fit perfectly at this table. So my expectation was more casual, more easygoing, maybe outside, maybe a little cold. Maybe one or two people have a connection with us and we talk, and that's great. But I felt that each of us had like a moment. It was really sweet. Each of us got to listen to the other. And Celia really wanted to manifest being closer to people because she moved from NorCal to SoCal and her friends aren't here and her family's not all here. And she has this house in this lovely neighborhood and she wants to fill it with these experiences. And we like answered the back call, as they say. Yeah. Like, she said, threw it out there. Y vinimos like a perfect amount of us. And I was like 6 or 7, I think. And what I expected was nice, but I was really beautifully surprised by how much nicer it was, that I would love to have it as an annual event. Yeah. And when we do this again, an intentional dinner table like this, we have to have the mic in the middle. Like we have to put it on, because it was so fun. It was so fun. Go ahead, Vero. What did you expect?
I honestly went with no expectation. No expectation. I'm like, I'm meeting these women that already nace como un amor, like this like natural, like wanting to just love and support each other. You know, like it's really weird, but I went and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go and experience it. I feel that many times I tend to be the party thrower or the something event thrower. También Irene, like, you know, like hosting. But this time I'm like, it's nice to go and not have like, ¿qué va a pasar? You know, like, let me imagine it. It was just like, I know that I'm going to see women that I feel like I know, and let's see where it goes. It was very much like that, you know, and like no expectation. And everything that Irene said right now to the second power, because it was just beyond what could have I even imagined, you know, because it was very beautiful. Women felt comfortable sharing, opening up, and it was very welcoming. You know, some of us were going to look for new friends because it's difficult making friendships as we're older. And I think we're going to segue into that, right, Ceci? We wanted to talk about these relationships and these friendships. And, you know, some of the women that were there were like, hey, you know, it's been really hard for me to make friends and make new friends for whatever reasons, in the sense of like how we've experienced life and the things that we've, you know, had to do. One of the women there, you know, she's one of my new clients, but she's like, I have really a hard time making new friends. And the thing is that even my old friends, when I try to reach, she said she was inspired by one of her podcasts episodes where it's like, reach out to the people in the past, like tell them thank you, tell them this. And she's like, oh, reach out to your friends and always, you know, and she's like, I reached out. You guys inspired me to reach out. Like, ¿por qué? Like, let's do it. And she's like, I did. And it didn't really go as I expected. So I was kind of like, did I put myself out there too much? Was it too much? And she kind of was like a little, you know, como se dice, not deflated, pero como que
se desilusionó.
So then that's why I was like, let's also bring up to see if we can put some, you know, the new girls and the new women that signed up for GFS early into the chat, or invite them to this guilt-free squad, because just based off of her experience, it's been really challenging for her. She was a single mom, you know, very young. Her daughter's 18, going to be going to college. So her and Irene were bonding over their kids, you know, potentially leaving very, very soon, going to college. And she's like, my daughter's leaving. She's my best friend and I don't have any friends. And she made it to this, you know, she made it to the GFS Galentines, and she was so open. Like, she was just so willing to make new friends. And I think I hear this a lot with some of our older friends and some of my homegirls, even some of our hermanas that we're really close to. And they're like, hashtag no new friends, no new friends. And the thing is that's beautiful. Yes, we want to be loyal to our homegirls, right, and our girls and the women that have been in our pack forever. But then there comes a point in our life, and I think Joanna was also someone that mentioned OG Joe. She calls her OG Joe, not little Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioned saying, like, you know, even my friends, I have friends, and it still felt very lonely because we don't see each other. You know, like the pandemic caused a lot of like us to put things on hold and not seeing our friends. But then even after, people have lives, and sometimes it's really hard to kind of schedule that time with one another. And the thing is that when there are people out there willing to be, you know, put out their friendship or put out a relationship with you, as in a friendship, it's okay to accept that invitation. Like, you know, give it a try. And if this person understands you, maybe your schedules fit, and then you don't feel you can have someone to have coffee with, or someone to go for a walk with, or someone to just hear you out when, you know, your other friends can't. And this person can become that friend. This person can become the person that is accessible to you and you accessible to them for when they need something. And I think that's beautiful, that we should be open to new friendships, new relationships. And it's not comparing friendships. It's not saying like, well, I'm going to replace you because I have a new friend. It's just like, this person now is bringing in something new that you might need, that your friends are unable to kind of fill, you know, or provide. So it's okay. I think opening ourselves up to that, it doesn't make you disloyal to your lifelong friends. It just means, it just means that you sometimes just need support from another angle. And I think that's totally okay.
No, you said it, from another angle, and it's the support that you need at that stage in your life. I've been there, done that, said like, no new friends, you know, my homegirls from college, but I've seen it now, now living apart from like, you know, you guys, and not having that ability to just, hey, let me just go to Vero's house, let me just go to Irene's house, porque no se puede por la distancia. But the need to find support here with other women, women that I've connected with. Like I was so connected to women when I first had the girls, because you trying to be a twin mom, and there's a lot of twin moms here in the city, and so we have this little group. But then now we haven't seen each other for so long because everybody kind of went their separate ways. Everyone, their kids go to different schools. So now my new friends right now that I'm making and that I'm making connections with are the kindergarten moms, because we're, in the same school, we go to the same events. And so I think that's why, one thing that I hadn't realized is like, oh, we need different friends for different stages of our lives. No quiere decir that we're going to forget las amigas de toda la vida, but it's nice to have that support. And I think in the Guilt-Free Squad, it shows right now we're in different paths, definitely, but we're all supporting one another and being there for each other. And we have these like monthly sessions. Like we know we're going to see each other. We know we're going to have a great time. We know we're going to like maybe laugh, maybe cry, and it's just this good feeling that we have this powerful group of women that we created essentially, and now everyone's like just participating and even like leading. We had one of our Guilt-Free Squad members leading one of our sessions last year, so I think I want to see more of that, like more maybe we can have Celia like host like one of them, and like things like that.
I think too, what I love about the Guilt-Free Squad and this chat and everything that has happened, like it's all very organic. Like we decided to have this session and Zoom made it possible. Then we, in talking in the session, let's have a WhatsApp, and now WhatsApp is standard, and like let's get together, and now that feels like it's going to be standard. So like regionally, hopefully, there's a lot of Guilt-Free Squatters in Chicago, and there's a few trickled up north. So I feel like it's an organic thing that's growing out of a really good place, and it's like the little sister to our podcast. So it's kind of really, really cool, because who gets to have like a podcast that they listen to that also has this vibe of like, you can talk back, and there's more than just the three of us. It's now all of the women, like y'all said, in the Guilt-Free Squad. So you've already said it, of course, but there's something about it that feels really, I'm really proud of it. Like I'm really proud of the women being like the Guilt-Free Squad themselves, So at the dinner, they kept like bringing up the podcast and different things we've said in the podcast, or different times they've heard it. And so it's like a nice little jumping off point to bond, but it's beyond the podcast. Isn't that like so cool? Like, oh, I'm so glad you said that story, because I was thinking about me in college and I have that nightmare too. And then someone, oh my God, don't you ever had this nightmare? And it's this podcast that has an ability to go beyond the podcast. Like, and maybe other podcasters are doing that. Maybe I'm giving away our secret sauce. Actually, I'm gonna take this all out of the episode. There's enough for everybody to eat at the table. No, there's enough for everybody to eat at the table. But yeah, it feels so cool. Okay. It's beyond that little thing that started, and now women are supporting each other, and it's like a book club, but better. It's like the story of our life.
Yes.
What we're doing, and
real life.
And it's hard. We all said like no new friends, and it's hard to make new friends, but this is a good little place. It breaks the ice naturally. Like you don't know what to say to someone, bring up an episode, or bring up something someone said that was funny, or, oh, that's why, or around that time, I remember at that time during COVID and I was listening to your show. And it's a really cool platform to naturally make friendships. I think I'm obviously selfishly happy with it. But when you said like, what was your expectation? Like I went in and I felt even more fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
When they say mentors become mentors to give back, but then the mentees mentoring them, like you become a volunteer, right?
Oh,
and then the people you help are helping you. Like,
yeah,
that's how Guilt-Free Squad feels. Like at some point we're all sitting there talking about therapy. At some point it's like, I love that we're so pro therapy, or we're sitting there talking about crazy families. We had a moment where we talked about like being the first in your family and being sheltered in your family and let you do nothing. Like who can relate? But women that obviously are all part of the Guilt-Free Squad.
That's like hands up, me.
Yeah, hands up. Yeah, but you're in the world, you meet all these people and you're like, how do I even know if they're like me? Or how do I even start talking to them about things that I admire or like about them? Like this makes a natural place to connect with people. It's really, really powerful and beautiful. And I felt very fulfilled after being with the women. And I remember being really conscientious. Like I'm a talker, but I'm like, I want to listen. But then I also want to ask questions because I want people to like go even deeper. And I like that. I like when it's more than just small talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Vero, I felt we had that. I felt we really had like deep sharing and insecurity shared and stories about our boo things and relationships and dating. And I'm like, this is so nice, whether you can relate or not, right? It was really nice. Moms, non-moms, labor stories, de todo hubo un poquito.
I loved seeing like clips of someone took a video and it kind of went around the table and you guys were so in it. Like you guys were so intentional, like todas concentradas in like the conversation. I think Celia was like leading the conversation at that point, but todas ustedes estaban like into it, listening. And I kind of felt like that was I was there and I'm like, oh, wow, like qué padre que tuvieron esa conexión y esa conversación.
It's funny because también Joanna saw that Celia was setting up the lights, but something looked like a microphone. And Joanna was like, oh my God, are they recording a podcast today? Like, are we going to be on this podcast? And we're like, Irene and I were like, oh my God, that could have been such a great idea. So that'll be something that we do hopefully soon, like a live podcast recording. I'd love for us to do something like that. But one thing I wanted to share is that even our podcast is something unheard of in a sense. Well, we always like look for ways to improve our podcast and how do we do this? And, we're coachable. We're coaches and we're coachable. And even with our podcast, like we share our stories and there's an intention behind it. We are TMIing with a purpose, right? It's like, if it's going to land with someone and someone's going to identify or relate with it. And I think that's the beauty of our podcast because it's not a one-person show. It's not a 2-person show. It's a unique 3-person show, right? It's 3 women sharing their individual like experiences where there might be similarities, but we live life so differently. And the way we tell our stories are so unique as well. And I think that because we have 3 unique voices that are 3 amazing women, 3 very like loving, embracing, energetic, and we have a friendship that radiates through the podcast, it really opens up to someone to be like, you know what? Maybe I don't agree with Vero, but I love how Ceci talks and I love what she says. And someone's relatable there. And you know what? I love the way Irene expresses herself and she's so articulate. She says this. And I'm like, oh, hands down. Yes, So the beauty of it is that we're 3 voices that are still like, even though we have so many similarities, we are still very unique. That allows for women to be like, yes, I can relate because one of these voices, I definitely I'm with it, and I love it. I love it because sometimes when you just have one person that leads with their stories, leads with their opinions, it's great. I listen to one-person shows, it's great, but I feel that our show is so unique, and the way we allow our friendship to radiate through the sound waves of the radio really helps to have these women feel like there's a space for me there. It's like we just have that extra little mic there waiting for someone to just join us here to record.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's that you're connecting. I know I've heard people say like sometimes like, I hear the podcast and I wanna respond right back, but then I remember that it's recorded and I'm like listening to it. So
they said that, like,
they did?
Celia, maybe somebody else, they were saying how, like, they talk back. They're, like, talking to the podcast. Se van a caminar. Joanna was so sweet. She was like, I can't wait till every Wednesday. I'm so excited to like, listen. I can't wait till it drops. I thought that was really sweet. And then some of the girls were a little more quiet, but you could say that it was, like, filling their buckets. And, like, not everybody has to be the same, which is cool. And then we also gave them, like, the moment to, like, share something, and they took it and it was really sweet. And then everyone was so inquisitive. Like if someone wasn't sharing and they were sharing, we all seemed to care so much about like more of their story. Tell us more, which is sweet. Cause in that you're learning about the women that aren't sharing. Like I have a college age kid, or I have this job that started from nothing and now is everything. And I'm running the thing, like whatever the story was that we learned, or I'm a swimmer. I swim every morning at 6 a.m. Like what? Like so many cool like facets about who they are came out, which is cool. And then I even think Vero and I, as much as we're TMI, I'm sure we shared something new, right? I'm sure we shared something no one knows either, or said it in a different way, or grew from something we said 3 years ago. We don't think anymore or feel anymore. So that's really, 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 really cool, because I think women that struggle, because loneliness came up a lot. Several people at the table said they've been dealing with that, whether it was COVID, whether it was life, getting older, their kids, not their kids, but their friends, like maybe having kids or getting married or getting jobs. Like people get busy. And so a lot of people brought up loneliness. And I think we've all felt loneliness at some point or another the last 3 years. That's the beauty of this podcast and Guilt Free Squad. It like grew up during a time where we all shared that isolation. We all shared this remote work and what it changed. And to feel everyone talk about loneliness so openly was very, very cool. It was very nice. It was very cool and nice aren't even the right word. It was very relatable, and you feel seen and you feel safe to be like, yeah, I have felt lonely, or yeah, that makes me feel bad. And I love, love, love that, because there's probably so many more women like that are just kind of quietly alone, or quietly, well, everybody's busy, or they don't understand, or their kids are younger, or their kids are older. And this gives you an opportunity to be seen, or to relate, or to have at least a frame of reference. Like, maybe no te está pasando ahorita, pero luego te va a pasar. Like, at the end, we were talking about one girl's dating journey over the course of a year, and we were like all into this story. And I'm like, I know she's helping somebody else right now. I know somebody else. It's about to get a boo thing, and it's going to be 6 months. It's going to be a year. And who are they going to think of? Her. And be like, girl, remember that conversation we had? So loneliness can be combated sometimes by just the little thing, like be uncomfortable and show up. Join the crew, go to the meeting, look out for that friend. Like Vero said, it may not always work out where you're reaching out to friends, but put yourself out there this Valentine's, Galentines. Don't feel FOMO. If you see people doing something you want to do it too. So have your own freaking Galentines. That's the tip of the day. Put yourself out there. Maybe you have to invite a new group of people. This girl did not know who was going to come, y'all. She did not know. She didn't know any of us. Celia knows us because she's taking our photos, but she didn't know these women she let to her house.
There's a seat for you at the table. Don't trip, remember?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. There's a seat for you at the table. Don't trip. Your gym friends, your mom friends, join the PTA, the library moms, like, go to the Super Bowl party that your neighbor's inviting you to, and you don't know nobody, and Super Bowl's already over. But you know what I mean? That example, like, hazlo, like, put yourself out there.
Or you're only there for the halftime show.
That's like exactly why I went.
Yo también.
Oh my God, I love her. I was like, she's so high up in the air. Riri.
She's amazing.
I know. Luis called it, ¿está embarazada? And I was like, no. I'm like, no, acaba de tener su bebé not that long ago. And I said, no, está embarazada.
And then she's like, pop, pop, pop. Like, bat, bat, bat. You know? Just like that.
Yeah.
For her.
You should reach out to her.
I just felt really nice that she looked pudgy, like that she had a pancita. And I was like, thank you for not having to rush back. You know how that was a whole different conversation. So we had, we went over to Kathy, Otto's cousin's house, Kat and Paul's house, and we're like, let's take the kids. Everyone was having a good time. And then Riri comes on. We're like, okay, everyone shut up. We're going to dance. And Kathy and I were like on the dance, like in the dance floor, on the dance floor. But one of the things we both said, like, I feel like it's beautiful to see her, not knowing that she was pregnant, that she wasn't like, let me bounce back. I am a celebrity. I'm an artist, and I'm going to look a certain way. Like, I love that Riri has just embraced mommyhood, and that how mommyhood changes you, changes your body, changes like so many ways, the way you think, the way you address things. So it's a new thing that when we saw her, we're like, oh my God, like we just felt seen in a different level where she wasn't trying to hide her body. She's like, this is me. And then the other part was like her not trying so hard. Like her dancers did it all. She just had to do what she needed to do. Like, I'm Rihanna. I'm a bad bitch. And I saw a post, and I wish I could find it right now, but she says, it was beautiful how Rihanna showed up like, I am enough. I am enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a guest. I don't need to be dancing my heart out. I don't need to do anything. Like, this is me. This is my presence, and I am enough. This woman is amazing. But yeah.
And she had all those freaking hits. She's got so many hits. I was like, of course, Rihanna doesn't need to do nothing. Like, song after song from years. I mean, she hasn't had an album in years. And lately I've been into that Lift Me Up song from the movie Black Panther that she's singing. It's such a pretty song.
Oh my God.
I know. I love that song.
Let me tell you.
Dude, she's amazing. Freaking standalone on everything she's already created. Doesn't need to do anything more. She has enough. Go ahead.
That song came up randomly a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, like, after, my dad. And it came on. I forgot if I told you guys. I told my sister. And I was like driving to work, and it came on like randomly in one of my playlists, and it just like, it allowed me to cry, like to just like desahogarme, yo manejando. And I was just like, oh my God, what a beautiful song. Like, just, I think I cried in the movie too when I watched it, but it just like, it allowed me to just like open up. And it was like that day I needed that song. And for whatever reason in the universe, it just like salió in my playlist, and I needed it. And it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. She has so many songs, pero esa canción está muy padre.
That one la canta like her heart. Her whole heart. Like, se siente, you feel it. Like, qué bueno que chillaste. We all need a good cry.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't down to cry right now. Y'all ain't down.
Ponla. I don't want to mess up my makeup, so y'all can cry solita.
My eyeballs. Which, by the way, you did great. Look at you. Look at you.
I
Did
know.
you see how I was using you guys as the mirror? Did you guys see how, and then I was like, then I couldn't anymore. I was literally using the screen. Yeah, me puse el teléfono as a mirror.
Oh.
I didn't have a mirror.
Es que lo hermoso es
great.
hermoso, güey. Lo hermoso es hermoso.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll do more touch-ups in the actual mirror in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
we need more self-care with women. We need to spend more time with friends. Maybe it's men, maybe whoever it is. that
I
you
got lucky
consider
this last
friends.
week. I got to see Irene 2 times, y'all.
I know.
Well, that's
so
right.
cool.
I was like, okay,
I was
Hoochie,
like,
hold
twice
up.
in 1 week.
I was like, okay, Racheta, why haven't I seen you?
I got a juicy
Wait, you
barrel
guys
hug,
haven't
not
seen,
once,
no,
but
ya pues,
twice.
te apuesto que no se habían visto meses, huh?
Años, güey.
Long while. Años.
No,
But I
pues
haven't seen her
nos vimos en
since she had
septiembre.
Maura. No, it was, well, yeah,
Breakthrough
September.
brunch, but-
you didn't have the, you were pregnant?
No, I had just had Maura for the breakthrough brunch.
But you didn't bring
I didn't
her,
bring her.
so I didn't get to see her. Por eso no la vi. But it was sweet to see you twice. Vero looked all cute with her cute bedazzled boots and her like velvet burgundy jacket. I was like, jump back, looking all stylish.
It's my,
You're
let
stylish,
me
Beto.
go into my old stuff. What do I have that's cool? I'm just-
A lot.
Dang.
But it was nice. It was really nice. Just like get in touch with new friends, old friends. It's all be friends. Irene lives in the kingdom of ¿cómo se llaman estos?
In Narnia.
In Narnia. Y tiene ahí los animalitos ahí.
House of Dragons. I didn't even
I
watch
think you're
the
more
House
like
of
a
Dragons.
Targaryen. Just saying. Anyway.
I know. I'm laughing to myself because I'm like, why do I keep calling them geese outside? Do geese fly? Do they sound so terrible?
It's all like
Oh my God,
meow,
geese.
meow.
Y son gansos, ¿no?
Gansos.
See, I think. I don't know what it is.
I don't know, but I
they're
don't think
loud.
you have geese.
Let me
outside
ask
your
Gali
house.
real quick. Gali. Just kidding.
¿Qué son
¿Qué es
esos?
¿Qué se dice esto?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's going to be like a bootleg pigeon. Maybe. Tenemos parrots.
It's a two-headed
This is
pigeon.
Educational. This podcast took a turn for the random, but I do have random parrots that like come and fly, and I don't know if someone let them go, but they're a whole family of green birds, and they're super loud, and we always see them in the sky. The parrots, isn't that funny, y'all?
Oh, that is funny.
Los pájaros que hablan, the
Yeah, yeah,
green
yeah.
ones that belong in like
Alguien se les escapó.
yeah.
They drop some shit
Yeah,
on you.
sometimes
Good morning.
sometimes I feel they're gonna come talk to us.
That's
Feel free
funny.
to-
I was
they
listening to
wanna
your
be on the
podcast. Anyway,
Bad Beto, you can really imitate a bird.
I
girl.
sure can.
You are a
Yeah.
talented
I
female.
fucking used to have birds all the time. We never had a parrot. The neighbor used to have a parrot. Pero we
they're
had
funny.
pajaritos, like my dad would always bring, and then they would fucking die. And he would bring like 6 of them, and then we'd like slowly get down to like 1 or like 2, and then 1.
Oh.
And then we would like, my dad's like, all right, time to get 6 more. So we always had fucking live animals. Like we had chickens, and we had like little chivitos at the house. And then, you know, we're in Watts though. We're not in no rancho. Anyway, this should be for the random episode. Point is,
First of all,
for the random.
practice my
Watts
impressions.
and Compton, they do have. You will see horses on the street. You will see cowboys in Compton. It's actually kind of cool, but that's definitely for the random show. But it's very cool.
Anything else that you guys want to say about either self-care or Galentines or Valentines for this week that you haven't shared earlier?
I'm going to share what my dad would share to me. Déjate querer. Déjate querer. No, my dad wouldn't say that particularly, but he would, you know, you hear it as you're growing up. Déjate querer. And I think we would use it at school. Didn't we use that in Santa Barbara? It's like,
Maybe.
déjate querer. Like, sometimes we put up so many walls and so many boundaries and so many this because of previous relationships or previous friendships that had left us kind of feeling, ugh, I don't want to put my friendship out there because people are ugly, you know, in the sense of inside. But allow yourself, give yourself that chance. Déjate querer. There's love, not just romantic love. There's love that's been that can be shared between the homies, your homegirls, and give and let yourself be loved as well. So déjate querer. That's my tip. Okay? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And no FOMO, no FOMO. Valentine's Day, I think, gets people down sometimes if it's like relationships or online or girlfriends and the Galentines. Like, no FOMO. Like, you never really know what people are going through, what their lives are like. If that husband gave those flowers to that wife that one time, like, you never know. So do not judge by what you see on social media and do not feel left out. Love is love, and you can buy yourself flowers. You can give flowers to a parent. You can spend time at the cemetery where there's beautiful flowers and people wish their loved ones were here. So make sure to keep in perspective that holidays are just holidays and they're not meant to bring you down, and they can be spun in whichever way you want. So this is about self-care. So if you are feeling FOMO, the best way to celebrate Valentine's is to show yourself a lot of self-love. Take care of yourself, pamper yourself, take a mental health day, like show yourself self-love and celebrate Valentine's Day for yourself. Dang, ring the alarm. I've had all the sound effects today.
That's right.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys are right.
Yes.
Hacer el tiempo. Yo planeo maybe running today, but this chat made me like me puso las pilas. Me puso las pilas because I'm talking to you guys, I'm seeing you guys. Pero ir a correr and then hopefully touch up mis canas because I am in need of them.
Ceci, so you're 40 when you took pictures with Celia? And you were like, "Ay, ¿cómo que quieres tomarme fotos así?" Like we're in public in the park. Imagine having someone just rooting you on constantly, like, "Hey, girl, you got this. Mm-hmm. You got this. Sí puedes. Estás hermosa. Estás chula. Tú puedes. You have a confidence. You're fierce. You're amazing." Imagine having people to tell you that. So, Ceci, you look fabulous in those pictures. I'm glad that she brought out that inner younger Scorpio, not the mature Scorpio that you are, and showed the fierceness in your pictures, the fierceness in those pictures. Because now you look at them and you're like, qué bueno, qué hermosa, qué chula de vieja. Mira esa mujerona. Like,
first of all, we shared them around the table.
We did, Ceci.
Dang.
We pulled up your pictures and we were like,
I want to see them
gorgeous. Inside and out. I want to see them now.
I'm like, I want to see them now. Luis,
the women were like zooming into
your
your face. They were like, "Oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Celia brought it out of her. She's naturally got it." So,
and Irene is like such a good like storyteller. Irene's like, and then Celia was telling her, "Breathe out through your mouth." ¿Y cómo le voy a hacer así? Remember how you were telling us? You're like, ¿y qué? ¿Cómo voy a hacer?
Yeah.
So Irene's like telling them the whole like lowdown. I'm like, this is what happened. Blah, 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 And they're like, what? Yes, look at the She's breathing. Exhaling through her mouth. Que no sé qué.
Y luego Celia says, I practice in the mirror because I got to know what I got to tell people to do. So then I just picture Celia like in the mirror, breathing through her mouth.
Yeah, I would look like I'm snoring. Like, no thanks.
One of them where she had me like leaning, like I was in heels and I was like leaning against something. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna fall. She's like, no. She's like, don't make that face. Don't make that face. She's like,
told him.
Yeah.
Then you were like, how's this gonna look at it? She's like, it's gonna look at it in pictures. And then your shoulders were all weird, but it looked at it in pictures. And you were like, this is not.
I straightened my back, but it looks sexy.
Yep. There you go.
Great way to end it. Great way to end. You're sexy and beautiful, and everybody needs to flaunt it.
Everybody needs to flaunt it. So get out there, make some time for yourself, whatever it is, like, whatever it is you do for self-care, go out there, make some time. I know I'm making some time myself this month. Ustedes también. And with that, chicas, don't forget to follow us if you don't already follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Level Up Latina, Twitter. Although I heard you guys were saying que Twitter casi pero Twitter, Latina_up is our handle. También, if you want to learn more about our individual coaching or to sign up to the Guilt Free Squad, our website is leveluplatina.com. También, if you want to keep the conversation going or have suggestions for a topic that we perhaps haven't covered or you want us to do part 2 of that specific topic, email us at admin@leveluplatina.com. And with that, chicas, that's a wrap. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to level up.